going on?
Came back to the city, specifically looking for you. Slid in my DM for a minute, thought I was tripping.
Hey, y'all.
Downtown, looking with the girls, but I got you on my mind. If you can't find the time, I'ma pop up like
What's up, y'all? What's up, Lady 380? Tim, Enrique, Braided by Natalie. What's up, cousin? What's up, Lena?
You can have it, you can have it. You so top till far from average. And you savage, but I can manage. You're the metro match, but can you handle it? If I go home with you tonight, will you call me the next day?
Just wait for y'all to get in the room. Wait for y'all to get in the room. That's me singing in the background. Something new that I'm working on. It's not out yet. But I love the song so much that I've been playing it. Oh, will you ignore me? Got me stalking you.
Looking at lies through your stories.
I'm about to get into it.
I don't know what tomorrow brings, but are you
About
gonna
to get
call
into
me?
it. Hello, hello.
If we go all
All right, we got enough of y'all in here.
will you want me the next day?
So,
Give it to you.
hello everyone. Oh my goodness. It has been a hell of a week. I had an amazing weekend in Mexico. Right now I'm actually sipping some tequila that I brought back from Mexico. It's called mango tequila. It's so good. But I went to therapy today, y'all. I had my first therapy session today. And I must admit that I definitely feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. Still, of course, have a lot more to decompress, a lot more to break down, but I finally am getting some direction in how to fix the issues that I feel that I'm dealing with. So, as y'all know, if you've been keeping up with Tap In Tuesday, last week I talked about how I'm practicing willpower and how I am in a season of just stepping back from dating because I need to figure out some things within myself. And, I also was telling y'all how I feel like I don't know how to be alone. I don't know how to not crave male attention, stuff of that nature. So, shut up, Jeremy. That was some boo. But, basically what we talked about in therapy today was about, what I feel the root of the issue is. And we went all the way back to my childhood and what my relationship was like with my dad, with my mom, how I always have felt like I've been pulled from both directions, and maybe not purposefully by either of them, but when you're an only child and your parents were once married and now they're getting divorced and the divorce was a little nasty, sometimes your parents' frustrations will trickle into you. And therapy is definitely something that I feel is helpful if you just need another perspective. Therapy is not for you to try to live out your life how the therapist is telling you. It's just for you to get some clarity. So at least in my session, it was more of a conversation of clarity. It's not about you doing everything that the therapist is saying and thinking that you're going to fix yourself. No, it's about having clarity, and it's about actually not only taking accountability, but doing the necessary steps to practice the discipline and actually make it into your lifestyle. So the number one thing that I have to work on is figuring out what is going to be my lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm lost within myself, so I can never be fully found in a relationship, if that makes sense. So yes, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But when you're a Jane of all trades, you become a master of none. And right now, I am a master of none. I'm stagnant. I don't feel like anything is, going up towards it. Like, I have ideas, I have goals, but in therapy, my therapist basically told me, like, you need to prioritize and put what's a primary and what's a secondary, and what can be done later on as a plan B or a plan A. So, am I tripping? Hello? Somebody on? Okay, that must be next door. I'm making sure ain't nobody knocking on my door because the door's so close. So, anywho, make a long story short, as I was, yes, I see that you want me to do your podcast. I haven't gotten back to you, but I'm going to get back to you. So just bear with me. I just got back to LA last night. So just give me a little moment. But, right, y'all heard that knock? I'm like, the fuck is that? Because I ain't got no company coming over here, child, okay? I live solo dolo by my damn self. But, so basically in therapy, we were just talking about, like, figuring out the root of the problem. And one of the things that I was speaking on was just about how I have been lately, and I'm keeping it real, lately I've just been feeling inadequate. And I've been trying to figure out what is it that I'm putting out there to have men pursue me but not actually try to build with me. And let me tell you something. As a woman, I could try to act like, I'm this, and I'm like, I put on this facade like, oh, I can be emotionally attached, or I don't get in my feelings about certain things. I know how to go with the flow. But in hindsight, we all want some type of stability and love and trust. And I'm just like, what am I giving out? I know I'm a good person. I know I'm an attractive woman. I'm working on myself. I'm getting stuff. My finances is together. Why am I not getting past go? You get what I'm saying? Like, what is it? And then, on top of that, why am I so quick to go and move on to the next when somebody is not satisfying me? Why do I have to go and seek validation from somebody else with if I'm not getting my soul fed like I want it to be fed? And why is it such a thrill for me to chase people who don't necessarily want to chase me? I know it sounds really crazy, right? It sounds really crazy, but those are the things that have been swarming in my head, and those are the things that I have been dealing with. And so what made me say I want to go to therapy and actually like take the initiative to talk to somebody was because this past weekend, like I told you, I've been working on my willpower, and I've been taking a step back from dating, and I'm just like, I just want to take a step back and be alone. I've never been alone in my whole entire life. I've never had a moment where I wasn't talking to anybody. I've never had a moment where I was just only me and like focusing on me. And let me stop there, because I had a moment, and it was probably like probably about a month, where I took some time off and I didn't talk to anybody or whatever like that. But I still backslid on my motherfucking plan and didn't even follow it all the way throughout. So what happens is you put discipline and boundaries in place, and then you don't follow through, and then you start to feel shitty and crappy because you went against the grain. And that's what happened to me this weekend. I started feeling shitty because I went against what I told myself I wasn't gonna do. I told myself, I'm not calling this individual anymore. I'm not putting myself out to this individual anymore. Whoever don't talk to me, I'm not talking to them. You know what I'm saying? And like, just separate myself in total. And what did I do? I went against the grain, got drunk, started drinking some tequila, and started calling and texting motherfuckers that I know don't mean me no good. But you know what? I needed that liquid courage, quote unquote, to make me feel like I could be bold and just be like, fuck that, I'm gonna go against the grain and do what the fuck I want to do. And that is not the right way to do things. If you put boundaries in place, yeah, you can take accountability all day, but if you're not actually practicing the discipline, what is the purpose? Because what are you gaining at the end? You know what I gain at the end? A fucking hurt feelings and a crying ass face. That's what I gave at the end. Feeling crappy, feeling shitty, feeling low about myself because I reached out to somebody, to a few people that don't mean me no good, that have already shown me their colors, but I want to go against the grain and I need that thrill of the chase just to be like, oh, you don't want me? Oh, you got me fucking, I'm going to make you want me. That ain't the way to do it. It ain't the way to do it. And like, yeah, I can say all day, yeah, granted I was drunk, but at some point, sis, being drunk can't be the excuse. At some point, being like, you have to take accountability and just be like, I can't let anything waver what I'm trying to put in place. And so when I was talking to my therapist, she basically told me like, you need to learn how to be alone. You need to learn how to be by yourself because you don't know how to be by yourself. You know that you're a good looking woman. You know that you can attract men easily. And so you're so used to getting that satisfaction and that validation that when you're damn near afraid to be alone because you don't want to actually have time to actually think and be in your thoughts, because sometimes being in your thoughts can really tell you the truth about yourself and how you really feel about yourself. And that is scary for you. So you rather have somebody in reach so you won't feel lonely and you can think about other things instead of the things that are actually conflicting in you. Did that make sense, y'all? If that made sense, let me get a heart. But and I said, wow, you know, that's really, you know, that's true. Like, you know, I agree. I received that. And I said, subconsciously, maybe that is the problem. Like, I don't want to sit alone in my thoughts. Like, I don't want to, you know, have to face the reality of who I really am or the issues that I really have. So I do keep myself busy. Like I told you, I'm acting. I'm getting back into being an artist. Now I'm doing rental properties with my family. Now I have a travel agency business. I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing lives every Tuesday. I keep myself so busy that I don't be having no time to sit and actually face my reflection. And, you know, we went back and talked about my parents. And I made a statement that a lot of times I feel like, you know, they put a lot of pressure on me. And it's not pressure as in, you know, a negative way, but it's a lot of pressure when people put you on a pedestal and they're looking at you like you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, what's next? Like, I have no room for error. I've been building myself up to a certain point in my life that now declining is damn near not an option for me. And it puts pressure on me and it makes me have a little bit of anxiety because I'm always thinking about what is the next move. What do I need to do to stay relevant? What do I need to do to get to the next height? What, instead of just living in my moments and just going with God's divine order, I'm constantly trying to figure out how to keep myself on this pedestal that everybody looks at me as. Like, you know, everybody, oh, we so proud of you. Oh, you doing this. Oh, you did that. Oh, you did a TV. Oh, you did a Kanye. And when you have all of these great things happening and things start to become at a standstill, or you don't know where your next grand notoriety is going to come from. I said the word wrong, but y'all know what I mean. You don't know where your next grand thing is going to come from. You be like, okay, what can I do next so I can keep afloat? Like, what can I do? And I do, and the thing is, it's like, I love my parents, but specifically my mom, sometimes she do put a lot on me. Like, it damn near be feeling like I'm the only person that she got. And a lot of times I feel guilty with a lot of things. Hey sis, a lot of times I feel guilty with if I tell her no, or if I tell her I can't do a certain thing and she make a big deal out of it, and then I feel the pressure of, okay, I gotta just make it happen because she only got me. Like, I'm basically all she got. And, you know, my therapist told me that I need to tell my parents how I feel, and how I feel sometimes I'm split between the two. And, you know, they both, you know, and just having remarks being said like, you know, you treat me any kind of way, but you do whatever for your daddy. Like, you know, and I know she don't mean no harm, but, subconsciously, it sits in the back of my head, and I'm just like, I don't want to be in the middle of having to choose. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like if I tell you no, or even if I just simply tell you, hey, I didn't like how you said that to me, that now it's a whole matter of, well, you did this. Like, there's never a way for me to tell her how I feel without her telling me how she feel, and I end up feeling bad in the end of the day. And it's like, my feelings are valid too. Like, just acknowledge my feelings. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm not trying to, be disobedient and not listen to you. But I'm a grown up. I'm a human. Fuck being grown. I'm a human. I'm human with real feelings. And if I feel like you said something to me, or you did an action that made me feel uncomfortable, or in any way, as your daughter and as my parent, I should be able to have that transparency with you and really be able to tell you that, and you not get offended or feel like I'm trying to point the finger at you. Because at the end of the day, you're not perfect. And there are still a lot of things that you as a parent need to work on. My parents were not perfect. They put me in a lot of their drama, which might be one of the reasons why I do run away from, people that are trying to grab me and grasp me. Maybe a reason why I'm subconsciously am afraid of commitment. Maybe I am scared of the next best thing, because I see my parents have a toxic ass divorce, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. So as soon as I see something, or as soon as something I don't like, I go ahead and run away. I retreat. I damn near don't even like to see what's gonna happen. Like, I'd rather just go ahead and take my L now. Like, I don't want to keep waiting around and taking the L, which goes into another reason why I broke down on my flight, was because there was a point in my life, and there are a few people that have crossed my life that I have been madly in love with. At least I thought I was. And I basically, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make that a whole nother tap in Tuesday. But I basically wasted 4 years of my life, hoping and praying that somebody that I was choosing would choose me. And they never chose me. They still ain't chose me. And made me feel like what I am and what I'm doing ain't enough. And so that made me feel inadequate. It made me feel like I wasn't good enough. It made me feel like, why not me? Like, I'm this, I'm that. Like, why you can't pick me? And I've been in those situations before. Like I said, a lot of people I don't be liking. I don't be liking people. But when I like you, and I'm giving and I'm showing you 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% of me trying to give you my all, and it's not being reciprocated, then I get down, and then I just go and retreat to somebody that can make me feel like I am enough. And so that shit hurts, and it puts me in a space where, okay, what can I use to get what I want? What can I do to get this nigga attention? Oh, I know, I'm going to use my sex appeal. Oh, I know, I'm going to do this. Oh, yeah, I'm going to send him this. Oh, yeah, I'm going to post this to get his attention. One whole time, it's like, yep, you did all of that, but guess what? You still feel empty. You still feel empty. Yep, you sent the picture, he liked it, but he ain't say nothing else. He sent some hard eyes, but after this, he ain't going to talk to you no more after that. So, it's moments like that, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm tired of feeling like that. I'm tired of, going, using what I got to get somebody's attention when they're not even giving me their attention in the first place. And I also don't want to give my attention to somebody just because they are a good person. So I'm just like, in this point of my life, I need to take a step back, which I had already told myself. And so for my therapist to say, you need to take a step back and just get to know T-Army. Be alone with T-Army. Be alone in T-Army's thoughts. Don't talk to nobody. Don't text nobody. Don't sex with nobody. Be alone with T-Army. Face those issues. Face those late night thoughts. Do it. Stop trying to do 150 things. Sit down, make a list, put what's primary, what's secondary, and what it can be done in the next 3 or 5 years. Write down what you need to do in the next 5 years. And let me be clear with you. I do that already. You see what I'm saying? Like, I keep a chart. Every day I'm writing down everything I need to do. Every day I do that. But I have not ever put my talents and all the things that I want to do in order of importance. So that is what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to do my order of importance. What is it that I cannot live without? Is it music? Is it acting? What is it? So, it's interesting. It's interesting. When you just get another perspective from somebody and you telling them like, and let's be very clear, I have a lot of childhood trauma. I was touched inappropriately as a child more than a few times. And I think that's another reason why I have a disconnect with sex and the act of sex, because my first experience was an experience that clearly made me feel like it ain't a big deal. Like, this is normal. This is what you're supposed to do. Because I have been fondled from as young as like 5 years old. And then when I was like 8, I went to a friend's house and her dad fondled me inappropriately. Never penetrated, but definitely fondled. And that alone is very traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that night vividly being at my friend's house, sleeping in the bed, and her dad coming through the goddamn rooms, and he touched everybody. And made an excuse saying that, oh, I was just trying to see if y'all peed on y'all stuff. Because I ended up telling my mom. And it was a big thing. It's a lot that I've been through, a lot that I have to decompress, a lot that I have to sit back and just deal with. A lot of things that have happened to me, I have suppressed. Even when I was 19 and that boy tried to force himself on me. Sex has always damn near been forced upon me. And I'm starting to think that the reason why I am so disconnected from it is because I feel like sex is my power. My sexuality, my sex appeal, I had to take it back and make it a power thing now and make it like, no, I'm in control of this. I'm doing it. If I want to do it, then I'm going to do it. I don't care. And I'm going to do it with whoever, whenever, however. So, even with that situation, like, I had to be honest with my mom and just be like, I don't feel like that situation was handled like it should have been handled. And I didn't tell her that until I was 29. I didn't actually I remember just waking up one night in the middle of the night at 27 and I was crying. And the thought that night was why I was crying. It was almost like it just resurfaced out of nowhere. And I just cried in the middle of my sleep, just like that night I cried after he touched me, crying for my mama, looking around, making sure he ain't nowhere to be found, calling my mama 100 times, trying to see where she at. Ugh. I just been through a lot. I'm just trying to figure it out. Trying to be successful, trying to be strong, trying to be a friend, a daughter. I'll just be overwhelmed. And yesterday proved that I was overwhelmed. And I just broke down. And I just could not stop crying. I cried for about 2 hours. The flight was 4. The first 2 I cried the whole time. So I've been violated, I've been taken advantage of. And I still try to keep a good, sound mind, body, and spirit. I still try to be a giving person. I still try to be a beautiful spirit. So, that snappiness that I possess, that attitude that I possess, a lot of it is, a defense mechanism. A lot of it is just me trying to protect myself, trying to guard myself. But I got a lot of work that I got to do. And I'm sharing it with y'all. And hopefully, if you got work to do with yourself, you'll be honest enough with yourself like I am to actually do the work and actually try to understand what the root of the problem is. Because That's what I'm doing right now. I know what the problems are. I don't know what the root is. And once we get down to the root and we start decompressing and doing the proper steps, then I'll have some better clarity of how to avoid all of that. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to come and tell y'all how therapy went. Be real with yourselves, you know. I know I always say, people probably say I tell all my business on social media, but if you haven't noticed, transparency is part of my brand. Transparency is a part of my brand. And me telling my story and me telling my experiences give other people courage to face their own or to tell somebody else. Or just to tell me thank you because I thought I was alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. I am here. I am discombobulated as well. But one thing that I never do is I never let my past circumstances dictate the person and how I move. The person that I am and how I move. Just because I've had some bad things happen to me and I've dealt with some very fucked up situations and some people have really did me dirty, I still remain loving, I still remain humble, and I still remain there for them. I don't give a damn if it was 5 o'clock in the morning. If you needed me, I would probably still come through. So, you know, just is what it is. But I will say that I'm blessed. I love myself, but I have to do some more self-love because if I love myself as much as I said, I wouldn't even allow people to have that type of access and treat me that way. Because whatever you show me, I should not be chasing you to do anything other than what you're showing me. I should not have to be chasing you to do anything other than what you're showing me. You should just want to show me your best part just like I'm showing you my best part. So I got to work on some self-love with that. Because there is no reason why I should be chasing after anybody. Okay? Not looking how I'm looking. Not doing how I'm doing. Not blessed how I'm blessed. Not with my personality like this, honey. Child, please. I am the prize. And I think for so long that I was looking at myself like they was the prize. Because so many other people think I'm a prize. So, you know, when you're constantly getting validation from people, it's a thrill for you to get validation from somebody who ain't trying to give it to you. And then when you finally get it, you damn near don't even want it. You know? Like, my therapist basically, because I told my therapist, like, you know, I got rejected this weekend and my feelings was hurt. And she told me, like, she was like, sometimes rejection is actually what you need. You need to be rejected because rejection is actually saving you. If that ain't a word, rejection can be saving you. Ladies and men, if somebody is rejecting you and not giving you what you need, take it as a saving grace. Because if you get them, they might not even be exact. They're not even probably what you thought or what you had an idea of, which goes into my 4 year of wasted time in relationship. And I'm gonna do that next week. We're gonna talk about the 4 year waste of time and how I'm just now. I still got love for them. I'm not even gonna sit up here and say I ain't got no love for them because I do. Still got love for them. Still working on trying to cut that off in its entirety, and not so much as because we don't talk at all, but just my feelings. My feelings have to they're gonna have to gradually end. It's gonna take a while. 4 years is a long time to really want to be with somebody. So, yeah, it's all called a lesson learned. Y'all sure right. Lesson learned and a blessing, because when I really started to see them true colors, I said, oh damn, this ain't nobody I want. And I think that's what fucked me up the most, because sometimes when you talk to somebody for that long, you be so intrigued with how it was in the beginning. See, how it was in the beginning, oh baby, we was inseparable. But we changed. You change over time. So whatever it was in the beginning, 9 times out of 10, it might not be that way later on in life. And you got to be okay with that change. You got to be okay with two different people growing. And yes, I am seeing a therapist. I just had therapy today. Today was my first day of therapy. But I was chasing an idea. And I don't want to get too much into that story because I really want to tell it next Tuesday because it got some layers to it. But I'm definitely thankful that I took that necessary step to talk to somebody, get a different perspective, decompress, and start doing the work. And so, like I said, my first part of homework this week is to, write down the goals from primary, secondary to hobby to can be done later. Also have a conversation with my parents, explaining to them how I feel from when I was a child, up until now. And that's the first part. And also just not talking to anybody romantically. That's also one of a lesson that I have to work on. She told me, it ain't got to be for a year, but it need to at least be a month or two. Take a month off. A full month off. Don't talk to nobody. Don't entertain nobody. Focus on you. Get in your head. Sit in your thoughts. Be alone. So, I really appreciate y'all tapping in. And I chose my therapist because I spoke to my mom, and she has a really good friend of hers that I've been knowing as well, who is a therapist, and she's certified. And so hey love, what's up, Sauce Life? And so I know her. She knows my parents, but she is so she disconnects from the knowing you and her being a therapist or a psychiatrist. So she just was like, I'm gonna be blunt with you. Your mama lives vicariously through you. She's like, your mom lives through you. I mean, she told me some hard truths. She was like, your mama cannot be living through you. She everything that you do, and she was so afraid to do. And she said, it's okay to live through your kid in a productive way, but you can't live through them to the point where you putting pressure on them and making them feel like they ain't got no other choice but to do what you want them to do. So, I'm sure it's a subconscious thing that my mom probably doesn't even realize, because her and my dad always say, you're doing things that we never did. You're doing things that we never thought of doing. Like, you taking risks that I would have never done. So, they both kind of it'd be a lot. But I'm going to save the live like I always do. It'll be on YouTube. And you guys can go over there and check it out if you're just not coming inside the live. This will only be up for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. Up until I upload it on YouTube. So about 20, 30 minutes and I'm going to delete it. But I just wanted to come and tap in. Let y'all know that I'm doing better. I'm okay. Still emotionally drained. I'm still very tired. I still feel somewhat empty. I'm still feeling lost. But I'm going to do the necessary work. And I'm going to take this thing seriously. And I'm going to be the best me that I can be. Because I do not feel like I've been the best me. I feel like I've been treating myself like I'm disposable. And I am not. I am worthy. I am worth it. I am God's child. I am beautiful. I am loving. I am healthy. I am wealthy. So, those are the things that I'm just reaffirming to myself. And you can think it all day, but sometimes you got to think it and you got to say it. Your subconscious and your conscious have to align as one. You can't be saying, oh, I'm worthy, but in the back of my mind saying, oh, I feel worthless. It don't work like that. They got to connect. And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on connecting them. I have no regrets. I don't beat myself up for past things that I've done. I only beat myself up when I put boundaries up and I don't stick with them. That's when I beat myself up. So, like, when I told myself, you ain't calling nobody and you ain't talking to nobody, and then on Saturday, I went against the grain and called somebody that I wasn't supposed to be calling, that's when I start feeling like shit. Discipline. Accountability without discipline don't work. It's pointless. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to take accountability and work and add the discipline with it. Because the two of them have to align. They got to align. But I love y'all. Shout out to my dogs. What's up, Healthy Fit Vegan? What's up, Duncan, Shauna, Kiana? I love you. Hey, Diamond. Hey, y'all. Next week we're gonna do some Q&A. Like, I want y'all to tap in and like let's talk on here. Next Tuesday after I tell my 4-year story. Let's actually talk and let's talk about some time that we wasted on some people. You know, let's do that tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Let's do that next Tuesday. I'm going to tell my story, and then I want some of y'all to tap in and tell y'all stories when you thought it was something. You may have thought something was real, but it was all an idea in your head. Yeah. That shit sucks. But all right, I'm out. Y'all, I've been in here for about 41 minutes. Peace out.